I'm trying to help my boyfriend decide what he wants to do, so I thought I would ask here for some input on advantages and disadvantages. My boyfriend's uncle is offering him an apprenticeship to become a welder. He really wants to do this and prefers hands-on work. His mother wants him to go to college and earn a degree. My father was telling him it would be wise to take the apprenticeship and that he can always go to college later. We are entering our senior year of high school, so he wants to make a decision before applying to schools and dealing with all that. Story 1. I attended private college, community college, and a public university on my way to graduation. I joined a union apprenticeship, found success, and love my work. My advice to today's soon-to-be graduates who don't know where to go is in a few parts. Start with community college and complete your associate's degree while math and science are still fresh in your mind. Community college is significantly more affordable, so student loans don't hit as hard. It also gives you a chance to get away from home and spread your wings. You might find a degree field that interests you enough to continue at a university. Many older workers will be retiring soon, so a young person with a good head on their shoulders will find success and could potentially start their own business. Having an associate's degree will make future degrees in business operations or construction management easier. Should a desk job become appealing after years of physical labor? Most students finish community college in 2 years. That time goes faster than you think. Work construction during the summers and school year around your class schedule if you can. Get hired by a company to do grunt work and see if you like the work environment. See if your body can handle the labor. Learn to take care of your body when it is young. It will last you a career. You may discover that plumbing, electrical work, carpentry, pipe fitting, or ironwork looks legitimate. You'll gain hands-on experience in construction. The best foremen, general foremen, and owners have worked in the field. I cannot stress enough how important it is to take care of your body in the trades. When we are young, we all feel like we will live forever. With an associate's degree and on-the-job experience, if your back, knee, or hip gives out, transitioning to an office role adjacent to construction can save your career. I know too many people who have limited themselves to labor only. Whatever you decide to pursue, make sure you are committed. The only thing worse than half-assing one thing is half-assing two things. Story 2. It depends on the degree subject he would be taking and the finances. Graduates on average have higher lifetime earnings than people who never went to university, but it is not a done deal. Some courses are poor quality and leave you borderline unemployable these days. Tradespeople can make good money and have the benefit of not accumulating huge debts learning their trade. Story 3. My parents wanted me to go to college and I thought I wanted to go too, but it was a monumental waste of time, effort, and money. I wasted so much time on filler classes that did nothing for me professionally. Now, many technology fields are oversaturated, so finding work is difficult. I am talking with some family members about working for one of them as a laborer to see if it would be a good change for me. They think so, but they tell me it will not be easy. Trades are hard on your body, and eventually it takes its toll, but you will not be lacking work. There is always a demand for good tradespeople. Story 4. Let him do what he wants. Forcing someone to do something is a great way to waste everyone's time and money. Plus, welding is a great job that can be a rewarding career. Story 5. I've worked in the trades and finished my Bachelor of Arts, Master of Business Administration, and Juris Doctor degrees. There are people who say, I like to work with my hands. That's cool, but you really have to remember that in life it's easier to work smart, not hard. Some of the people I knew own their own trade businesses and call me for legal or business work. However, I work half as much as they do and get paid the same or more. Life is a series of choices. You make them and there is an outcome. Don't be mad at the outcome without understanding your initial choice. Story 6. I went to college and now work in construction. I feel like going to university definitely made me a more well-rounded person, and it is worth it to go to college. Story 7. Trade skills can generate good income and are generally more affordable than college, especially if one can secure an apprenticeship. Story 8. Many career fields are facing a looming retirement crisis as experienced workers retire. Therefore, he is likely to have reliable employment going forward, depending on the specific trade. Story 9. If he has a family connection in the union and is truly interested in that line of work, he would be unwise not to get involved. That said, I have a bachelor's degree in music composition and have never worked in that field. However, many unique skills have helped me over the years. When writing music, you must be very explicit in your manuscript about what you want the players to do. You cannot rely on asking them later. Every little detail has to be noted. This skill is useful when training employees or coaching the Children's Archery League in my free time, just as one example. Writing research papers taught me a lot about formal grammar, which makes me appear more intelligent when emailing high-end clients. This helps build their confidence in our company. It is not how I speak in everyday life, but for work, it is helpful to do so. My best friend, whom I have had since the mid-1990s, has been a union pipe fitter for the past 27 years. He has done better for himself than I would have guessed back when we were in high school. He has always earned more than I did and probably still does when he is not unemployed. It is not the money you make, but what you do with it. Divorce and bankruptcy due to a balloon mortgage really harmed him. He lacks financial knowledge. No matter how much you earn, if you waste it, you will end up broke. Story 10. More money, less debt. College will be there later if he wants. Try welding now. I seem to remember that students who go to college a little older, between 20 and 24, have a better understanding of their goals, get better grades, and find better jobs. He can try welding now, give it 1,000 days, 3 years, and if he hates it, then he can think about college. I have 3 adult children, so I actually know what I am talking about. My nephew is also a welder. He started right out of high school. He lived with his parents, saved like crazy, and bought his first house, a modular, on 10 acres for cash at 25. He married his girlfriend, had 2 kids, takes a week-long travel vacation every year, and brings his mother to help with the kids. It has worked out well for him. His mom is not complaining now. Story 11. It's body, mind, or soul. Trades take the body, corporate takes the mind. High-level corporate or technology takes the soul. If he's lucky, he'll find a job worth sacrificing one of those, and he'll find ways to stay healthy. Story 12. I would say go for it, but with a twist. Look into automation technology, such as a line controller for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning systems. Story 13. Let him follow his heart. Welding is a tough job, but it pays well and will start paying from day one. Story 14. I have one son with a master's degree, and the other is a welder. I am pretty sure the welder is going to make more money. When you are a welder, once you leave for the day, the work is done. There is no checking emails or getting calls. There is a lot of benefit to that. Story 15. As a former college instructor and tutor, my non-traditional students often performed better. There is a significant difference between being here because someone else said so and having tried things and personally deciding that you really want it. I attended technical college for information technology and earned my certificates just in time for the 2008 recession. It did not work out. I ended up not only returning to college but also pursuing a Doctor of Philosophy degree. It is not an either-or situation. Story 16. I think everyone should get post-secondary education. It teaches much more than how to do a job. It helps to make better decisions and provides knowledge for everyday life. It does not need to be only trade or post-secondary education. It could be both trade and post-secondary education. Story 17. It really depends on his desire to earn a degree. Otherwise, I would recommend the trades. The downside, from my experience, is that the physical nature of the trades can wear your body down. If you do not transition out of that line of work before age 50, you may end up with chronic pain and lasting physical limitations. Story 18. What do you think about men going into trades as opposed to going to university? For most, university is more of an experience rather than something actually useful. I studied film and theater directing because I was interested in it and wanted to become a director, which I partially did. I work in the field, but not always as a director. Many of my classmates from university got into it just because of the environment. They wanted to feel like artists among other artists but never worked in the industry. It is the same for many universities. I remember a girl who went to university in Germany after she finished high school and just lived out a fantasy of having expensive coffees in the library, making fancy and colorful notes in her notebooks, and clubbing. She came back home and did nothing with her degree. Now she goes on vacation and to festivals on her parents' money. He really wants to do this and prefers hands-on types of work. Not only are these kinds of jobs extremely sought after and pay well if you do well, but if this is something he personally prefers and, more importantly, wants to do, then that is the decision he should make. His mother wants him to go to university and get a degree. It sounds like the mother just wants to brag about her child going to university, which might not even be useful. It sounds like you are from the United States, which also means many student loans. My father was telling him it would be wise to take the apprenticeship and he can always go to university later on. Yes, that is always an option. Story 19. Look up the average age of a welder. That is some job security. It is a fantastic trade. One of its advantages over other trades is its low equipment cost and portability. He will be able to scale up and scale down as he needs. The only qualification he will ever need to show anyone is 2 Coke cans welded together. By the time his contemporaries realize they are now qualified to make coffee and fill the printer, he will be earning the kind of money their boss's boss earns. Story 20. Welding, like many trades, is limited by physical endurance, typically 20 to 30 years. Plan accordingly and remind him to take care of his body. Poor welding causes bridges to collapse and pipes and equipment to break. We need skilled welders. Story 21. I am all for getting into the trades, but you should choose something that you think you will be good at and enjoy. I became a commercial float plane pilot after I finished school, but I was based very far north. All of the food was frozen, accommodations were awful, and everyone drank during their time off. I got exhausted, as they say, and left for a new career. I entered construction in the city and did very well with my own business. I paid off my houses and retired early. I cannot say it enough to young, aimless kids. Get into a good trade, and you will be set for life with good money management. Everyone in my family is a high-end professional and miserable about their jobs. I am the happy one and would not change a thing. Well, maybe I would have saved a lot by skipping my flight training. Story 22. Now in my 50s, I totally understand, especially for current graduates. The demand is high in the trades nowadays, and with a little initiative and marketing, anyone mastering a trade has great potential. It is a great way to make a living. I think I should have taken that route since my bachelor's degree was never truly utilized beyond being a free ticket into various jobs. It would have been a very different experience for me. Story 23. He will make more money faster in a trade now than most Bachelor of Science degrees offer. My sons, aged 24 and 26, both have theirs in computer science. One in cybersecurity and one in software engineering. And the only opportunities available in this market are unpaid internships. Meanwhile, electricians, ironworkers, millwrights, and plumbers are all starting their apprentices at $26 per hour and have more work than people available. Story 24. I wish I had gone into the trades. My high school friends, siblings, and cousins all went to college, and most of them attended prestigious Ivy League schools. I felt pressure to get a degree, and I earned a master's degree. I also had a love of woodworking. I worked for 38 years in a career that was challenging at times. I retired and now I am doing woodworking again. I wish I had kept up woodworking throughout. If he wants to learn welding, he should do it. People can always get a degree later or online. All of my siblings and I have earned a master's degree online while working different jobs. Story 25. Trades can be great careers and potentially pay well for a lower investment in education and training, but make sure you have a late career plan or exit strategy. I have known multiple hardscapers, carpenters, and others who had to work into their 50s and 60s on bad knees and other health challenges. Trades can be very hard on your body, and if you are talented and in demand, you can accumulate a lot of overtime. Great money in your 20s and 30s, but not always sustainable. Story 26. Honestly, I wish I was the hands-on manual labor type. Welders make a lot of money. It is a good path, and I would say he should do it. Especially starting at 18, he will be really set up for a good life. Like 4 years as a broke, barely employed college student or 4 years learning how to perform a skill that will benefit him in several areas for the rest of his life. I wish I had this kind of direction at 18. I definitely appreciate the college experience, but if he actually wants to be a welder, that is one of the best jobs he could pick. Story 27. Get more jobs and figure out what you dislike doing. Then choose a career you want to pursue. You do not have to work the same job for the next 40 years. Choose what you want, not what others want for you. If you learn to save from the beginning and invest, you can retire comfortably, even working in the trades all your life. You can become wealthy by many standards. It is not what you earn, but what you save. I started working in trades and later transitioned to careers based on my trades experience. I have had a very comfortable life for my family. We will retire soon, well set up financially. Trades can be a great foundation. It is up to you how far you push yourself in your career. Story 28. Welder. It is much better to take that job and make money rather than going into extreme debt for an uncertain career he has not even chosen. Story 29. His dad is right, especially if he does not have a degree in mind. Welding is a physically demanding but lucrative career. Story 30. I believe it is a deeply personal decision. We need both white-collar and blue-collar workers. I have done both, and personally, I prefer being a desk worker. Story 31. Where I grew up, some of the guys who started doing grunt work on a construction crew right after high school are now semi-retired millionaires with large lake houses. Be smart, punctual, and avoid drugs and alcohol. The sky is the limit for how far you can go. Conversely, many others I know are still paying off their liberal arts degrees while working dead-end office jobs or waiting tables. Story 32. You will always hear that college does not guarantee a job, and people in trades are getting paid well and working good hours. Only one of these sounds too good to be true. Story 33. I think he should choose for himself, try things, and be given the time to figure it out. It's unfair to ask kids to figure out their entire life path by 18 or just push them into a job that's in the family simply because it's there. A big part of college and schooling is figuring things out. Some degrees are not worth the time, while others teach professional skills that lead to great careers. It might be better to attend a vocational school rather than college. My only concern with pushing him into a trade just because it's in the family is that he could wake up one day with a broken body and say, I hate this job, I never wanted this life, forget everybody, and just become that guy wasting away miserable. Removing his ability to choose his own path is unfortunate. He could be stuck in a cycle of work and paying bills and might not be able to change careers or pursue a degree. You can always go to school later is very difficult to do once you're out. I did construction with family one summer in high school, and it convinced me to work harder and get into college to pursue my degrees. Coming home dehydrated, sunburned, and filthy every day, and going to bed at 8 p.m. so I could get up before dawn to do it all over again wasn't for me. Story 34. Those who succeed in the trades need to be successful businesspersons, in my opinion. Ensuring they understand some of the fundamentals will put them much further ahead by the time they are 40 and their body is breaking down. Story 35. Whatever pays you is what you should be doing. Get in where you fit in was better career advice than all my schooling, advice, and networking combined. Story 36. There is a significant shortage of people in the trades. Trade businesses were often passed down through generations, such as Smith & Sons heating, ventilation, and air conditioning. But now these businesses are either being acquired by industry consolidators or closing due to a lack of succession planning. High supply. I also argue that younger generations are less inclined to perform hands-on tasks and more willing to pay others to handle trade-related work. High demand. Many jobs related to college degrees are also being disrupted by artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence will never weld or fix a toilet. Low disruption. Colleges are expensive, and only a few degrees offer meaningful, direct earning potential. High risk. Story 37. I have 2 sons. One is going the college route, and the other has been hired by an energy company with a full scholarship to a trade school, with employment guaranteed afterward. My son pursuing college is struggling to find work or purpose in psychiatry and counseling that pays well. Meanwhile, my son entering the trades in diesel engine technology will earn significantly more money and will be able to find work anywhere in the country. He will not be made obsolete by artificial intelligence or anything else. All of my children's parents and step-parents hold master's degrees in science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or teaching. We all support the trades route because the cost-benefit of higher education is worsening. Story 38. I don't really think much of either. It depends on the person. If he wants to do welding and his uncle has a job waiting for him, I'm not sure what the question is. Do the welding. Story 39. It looks like he is doing well if that is what he wants. Welding provides a decent income, and he has already found someone to apprentice under. Story 40. Both of you should research welding jobs and the expected salary. If he prefers to work with his hands, then there is really no reason for a college degree. Story 41. Some trades completely damage your body. I have worked with welders who could not bend their knees at age 35. Story 42. What his mother, your father, Reddit users, or frankly you think he should do is irrelevant. It is up to him completely. If he wants to be a welder, then that is what he should do. Advise him to take safety precautions very seriously. It is dangerous work. Story 43. A family connection with a trade is basically a winning lottery ticket. Anything else is absolutely foolish. Story 44. I respect it. My younger cousin is a carpenter. He earns a lot but works an excessive amount. Could not be me, but we need many like him, so I just respect him. Story 45. Dad's right. There is no maximum age to attend college. I would suggest trying welding. Trades, in general, have significant labor shortages. Just ask the aircraft maintenance professionals. Meanwhile, there are many bachelor's degrees that struggle to provide job opportunities. Story 46. I think we should stop making a distinction between trades and college. It is all education and skills. Many people in trades would benefit from liberal arts and science, technology, engineering, and mathematics knowledge, and college students would benefit from skills learned in trades. Story 47. The best option is to go to trade school and learn a valuable hands-on skill, just as he wants. The father is correct. He can always go to school at any age, or try other paths if the trades do not work out. I went to trade school instead of college, earned my associate degree, and got a $100,000 per year job at 20. Then I returned to school at 22 for my bachelor's degree, which the company paid for. You can make the system work for you. Story 48. I earned a Bachelor of Science in Psychology and completed 1 year of a Master of Science in Statistics. Now I work adjacent to machining. Many people forget that there is a middle ground between trades and the front office. Technical sales, customer support, research and development, and similar roles all benefit from having a background in a specific discipline but do not require daily practice of that discipline. For example, I am nominally a remote worker, but I drive to the office a couple of times a week. Sometimes I machine something, film a video, or tear apart one of our machines. On days I work from home, I answer phone calls and emails from customers. Story 49. College is not for everyone. If you know a valuable trade and are happy, good for you. Cannot weld well. I wish I could. On the other hand, my mom, who was a doctor, did not know what to do with her life, so my grandmother got her a job in the brazier factory where she worked. 3 days later, my mom enrolled in college. Story 50. The world is full of educated college graduates. The number of tradesmen is at an all-time low. Soon, if not already, plumbers, electricians, and heating, ventilation, and air conditioning technicians will be earning more than doctors and lawyers. Story 51. Do the trade. I advise everyone to get a trade that pays a livable wage. Figure out what your passion is. Then use your trade to learn your passion. You will spend 10, maybe 20 years in the trade making money, getting good while you study, research, and learn how to enact your passion. Then boom. You are middle-aged with a whole lifetime of trade experience to fall back on, along with the follow-through and capital to get your passion off the ground and use it to fund the rest of your life. It is a bonus if you can work your trade and your passion at the same time. Story 52. Go into trades. The money is much better than people realize, and you do not start your adult life in debt. Story 53. If I were in his situation, I would take the apprenticeship. I was in my late 20s when I applied for college, and now I am a researcher, so you can always do that later. Welding is also an international asset, so you can see the world a little that way too. Story 54. He can work for his uncle with the idea that in 3 years he will reassess where he is and what he wants. College is not going anywhere. Also, there is nothing stopping him from taking a class here and there in the evening if he wants. There are 1,000 paths to the same destination. Story 55. Whatever is best for the individual. We all have to make money and feed our families, so they should do whatever best accomplishes that. Story 56. You can make a very good living in trades. Not everyone needs college. That was another lie told to us by corporations and lenders. Story 57. Definitely a smarter move. Trades pay better because most careers that require a degree become overpopulated and wages decline. Story 58. If you have the intelligence to get into a top 100 college and do well in a career-focused degree, then that is hands down the best option. If not, then the trades are far better than wasting your money on a bad degree from a bottom-tier school. Story 59. I make over $200,000 a year. My pipe fitter friends make over $200,000 a year. We do not have student loan debt. That being said, there are 2 caveats to this. First, we are union members. Second, we work a significant amount of overtime. If I could go back in time, would I get a college degree? Probably. The damage to my shoulders, knees, back, and neck cannot be understated. But I cannot see myself sitting behind a desk or wearing a tie. Story 60. I love working on automobiles, so I attended technical school in my final years of high school. I got a job working 50 hours a week as a lead mechanic. Shortly after, realizing how difficult and physically unsustainable it was, I enrolled in college courses. Now I earn much more working from my bedroom in air conditioning. I also enjoy intimacy, but I am not going to make a career out of it. Story 61. I have done both sides. Trades are much harder and often pay less. It is a young person's game, but they can always go back to school. Some people are not ready for college until later. If this is what he wants, he should go for it. Story 62. If it makes him feel better, I went to college and got a degree. While I actually do make use of my degree, unlike many others, not a day goes by that I don't wish I had gone to trade school instead of a traditional college. There is a significant amount of money to be made in trades compared to college, assuming you are not studying engineering, medicine, nursing, or law. Story 63. Go for the apprenticeship. College is overrated, expensive, and often worthless. Having a trade is much more important. You can start a job and a career and move forward faster. With this type of trade, he will always have a job available. It is not like a degree in home economics where nobody really cares at the end of the day and someone else can do the work for you. In this case, the job is guaranteed and there is stability if he becomes a master of this trade. Not to mention, it pays well. I agree that he can go to college later if welding does not work out. Story 64. Welders can make a good income if they have connections, a desire, and possibly a union. They could be set for life making 6 figures easily. To put it in perspective, I have a friend and a relative with master's degrees in business and healthcare, respectively. I have an associate's degree and certificates and work in a unionized trade. I make more money than either of them. If it is what he wants to do, there is no reason not to pursue it. Story 65. I have tremendous respect for people who know their trade and give me solid advice. I also know that there is good money in being a skilled trade professional. Story 66. He should do what he feels drawn to and is going to enjoy. Unions do not require experience, pay better, educate you for free, and have better benefits. There is a tier system in trade work. Some jobs are difficult and hard on the body and do not pay well, such as laborers. Others pay exceptionally well, but the standard of work is higher, such as pipe fitters and boilermakers. Welding is always a good route, pays well and keeps you working. It takes a long time to learn and become efficient at especially X-ray quality pipe work. It is worth the effort. Ultimately, it comes down to what he is interested in. Making good money in the trades usually comes from overtime and traveling. It is not easy. It is hard on relationships, mental health, and so forth. However, it can provide a good life if done right. Source: Union Pipefitter and Welder. I will answer any questions, so feel free to ask. Story 67. I am trying to get into an apprenticeship at the moment, and without any connections, it is very difficult. If he has an opportunity, he should consider himself lucky and take it. Story 68. Trades are fine, but there is a basic level of knowledge that people gain after going to school. As long as he has a plan to learn those skills on the side, I would be on board. Story 69. A certified welder can make good money at a young age. If he continues to grow his knowledge and certification, he can make really good money if he is willing to move to where the work is. The highest paid welders are the underwater welders. They make serious money all over the world, but it is very dangerous, so being on a good crew is critical. Other trades include heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, which is in high demand and can make good money. Electricians make really good money but have a longer apprentice period. A positive aspect is that electrician work is not as hard on the body as other construction trades. Rough carpentry is hard on the body, and there is a higher percentage of alcoholics and drug addicts in rough carpentry. Plumbers are also well paid and in demand. Can be difficult work, but it pays well. Story 70. Working in the trades can be great. Many people work in trades, earn good money, and truly enjoy what they do. There is nothing wrong with choosing to work in the trades. Story 71. If he likes it, go into the trades. In today's world, unless you are an engineer or in the computer or medical fields, it is best to go into the trades. Story 72. I went to a trade school and earned a 2-year degree in heating, ventilation, air conditioning, and industrial systems. I perform maintenance in an industrial environment. I currently earn $86,400 a year as a base salary, excluding overtime and profit sharing, in the aviation industry. I have no debt from school. Welders can earn more money, especially if they obtain multiple certifications for different types of metals. You do not have to attend an expensive university to get a good job. Story 73. There is nothing wrong with the trades. There is also significant money to be made as a welder if you are good at it. There is a projected shortage of skilled labor ahead of us, which will increase the demand and pay for tradespeople. Look at it this way. Without knowing the financial situation but assuming a typical middle-class scenario, you can come out of school with significant debt or be 22 years old and making good money already. I will share a story that has relevance here. I work in construction. I have a civil engineering degree but am in construction management and deal with tradespeople daily. I recently crossed paths with an old high school classmate. Our high school was college preparatory focused and pushed many kids towards business or law degrees and less science, technology, engineering, and mathematics degrees. This person eventually graduated with a business degree right in the middle of the Great Recession. He could not find a job that utilized his degree, bounced around a bit, and ended up working as an assistant project manager for an electrical company. Fast forward 10 years, and we crossed paths on a project and had a conversation about how, as youths, no one directed us towards the trades. He did not even know this career path was viable and extremely lucrative. I tell this story because not enough people know that being a tradesperson can be viable, lucrative, and extremely satisfying if an office-type career does not interest you. I strongly suggest considering it. Story 74. I did both. Trades got me jobs and college got me raises. However, networking and being in the right place at the right time brought me more of both. Story 75. If that is what he wants, hell yes. I will be going to university because I have a plan, but if you are going to college just because you should and would prefer trades, do trades. Trades are very respectable careers, and if you play it right, they pay more than other jobs. Story 76. That is an incredible opportunity. Tell him to accept that welding apprenticeship. He can attend a community or state college night classes or online courses after the apprenticeship settles in. The only downside is dealing with toxic welding fumes. Story 77. Do both. Apply to trade schools where he can get a 2-year degree and work in a 4-year school if he likes school. What is nice about working in the trade and then getting an education is that he would typically be the first one hired for project management positions in the trade he is familiar with. College is not for everyone. Story 78. Your boyfriend's uncle is offering him a golden ticket, and he wants to pursue a career in this field. Support him, not his parents. Story 79. I feel people should try to enjoy what they are doing as much as possible. College can be a great option because it provides potential connections, opportunities, and minimum credentials to be taken seriously in certain professions. However, it is very expensive, and I doubt someone will gain much value by simply passing their classes and leaving with a piece of paper. I believe it is more respectable for someone to take the time to figure out what they want to do and attend college later if it aligns with their goals. Story 80. This is a smart idea. The world needs many skilled trade workers and will need more in the future. College is not for everyone. Aim for a union job after school. Story 81. If he wants to do it and prefers that type of work, then definitely go for it. Trades today have much more job security and can pay extremely well because of supply and demand. Everyone needs a plumber, electrician, and similar professionals. However, many people over the past decades have chosen college because of social norms and stigmas. So it sounds like a great opportunity if he enjoys that kind of work. The only caution is that a majority of what I learned and retained in college came from experiences outside the classroom. Discovering who your real friends are, dealing with peer pressure, and learning how to handle adversity in healthy ways. I am not sure I would have developed the same way if I had skipped college. That said, I am still paying off student loans, $18,500 left. I am 30 years old, and my parents paid for much of my tuition. Story 82. I walked into a plumbing apprenticeship 29 years ago. I make $120,000 yearly. I am a supervisor out of the field and at a desk. I am looking at retirement at 60 years old. I am not sure welding would be my choice, but trades are what built America. Story 83. I spent years working with college students and attended 7 years of college, including undergraduate and postgraduate studies. I tell people that college is not for everyone. College is usually more a war of attrition than learning. Degrees mean something because they show you are committed to something for 4 years and can maintain that commitment through personal discipline. If you do not want to stay committed to learning for 4 years, often about topics that may not be very interesting, then you should not go to college. If people are telling your boyfriend to pursue trades, they probably see that college is not the right path for him. My guess is that his mother wants him to be financially successful and simply assumes college is the best or only way to achieve that. Story 84. My sheet metal trade apprenticeship includes earning an associate's degree at the local community college while completing skill-to-paper certification hours. We have night classes at our union hall for our trade. It is a 4-year program with 1 week of in-classroom hands-on instruction every couple of months, with summers off. I am 30 years old. I wish I had known about this when I was 17. Story 85. My son started a mechanical engineering apprenticeship at age 16. He is almost 21, has finished the apprenticeship, and his company has started him on a degree program. He has no debt, earns a decent salary, and has just bought a BMW. Next, he is looking at property. If your son can handle it, the best way forward is an apprenticeship. Story 86. There are many different trades. Typically, the skills can transfer to others quite easily. If I had continued going to school to get my bachelor's degree, just to be in debt and work sitting in front of a computer all day, I would probably be very unhappy. Trades are hard on the mind and body, but I would rather do this than anything else. They also pay well. Story 87. There was a time when we did not view higher education as vocational training. Now, this is more an outcome of the way the economy has been run and universities adapting than anything fundamental. Higher education is still supposed to be about many other things, such as improving critical thinking, numeracy, exposure to different ideas and people, and learning information about different content areas. There is no reason why he could not do both. The worst that will happen is that he will be a welder with upward mobility or other skills that make him more competitive. At 18, he could get a degree and an apprenticeship and start his adult life at 25. There is nothing that says he should stay, he can drop out. Story 88. It's really a matter of preference. Trades offer a better guarantee to make decent money, especially if you do something specialized. The college route makes it harder to enter a career that pays the same. You need college with summer internships, then an internship or residency, followed by an entry-level position. After 5 years, you may have only moved up one step. With trades, you make money from day one and avoid wasting money and time on education, which could be invested instead. Frankly, in today's world, for the average person, trades are a more reliable route to success. Plus, working with my hands is much more rewarding compared to office work or sales. It depends on the case, but if you put in the effort, save, and invest, success will come either way. If I could restart at 18, I'd skip college and go straight to trades. I'd take some basic business courses like accounting and economics. I would get a real estate license and study real estate investing as if it were a second job. I would learn how to invest in stocks and real estate. Start at 18, be very frugal for 10 years, and begin enjoying life at 28 while still investing heavily and maintaining some frugality. By 35 to 40, I would be financially free and living an amazing lifestyle. Story 89. It depends on the employment prospects where you live and on what he would be studying in college. Unless he has a very strong program lined up, it is hard to beat welding as a trade. Story 90. It is interesting. I met some people from Sweden, and there, before you graduate, you can choose to go to college or trade schools. Seems like a good idea. I am assuming you are in the United States. We do not talk about the trades very much here in the States. Story 91. For anyone who does not love book learning, I would tell them to go into skilled trades. Knowledge work can easily be outsourced overseas or to artificial intelligence, whereas right now it is very hard to find a good electrician, plumber, mason, and so on. Story 92. 40 years ago, I would have said that may be a mistake. That was when I went to college. Today, I think it is a mistake not to consider a trade unless he is an excellent student who has the potential to pursue the sciences or science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. The problem is college has become so prohibitively expensive that he could find himself deeply in debt unless he goes into one of a handful of professions that pay well. Trades always pay well. Nothing prevents him from going back to college once he has a stable financial foundation. Story 93. It's worth it while you're still young, but don't do it forever unless you want to be battered and worn out in your later years. Story 94. You have a hard time finding a job, so you spend thousands of dollars to get a degree. Then you graduate and still have a hard time finding a job. It is better to get training geared directly towards getting a job. Story 95. Each person needs to find their own career path. This could be a passion or simply something they are good at. Every career requires post-high school training. For some, it is college. For others, it is not. People should explore opportunities, especially those in which they have an interest. In other words, take advantage of the opportunity. If they like it, great. If they do not, they have gained useful skills and can pursue something else. Story 96. I don't think as many people belong in college as we seem to collectively believe. Not every kid is a genius, and colleges are businesses. They are here to make money. Their job is to sell people on degrees by saying, "You went to college." That opens up doors. The only exception to this is a Master of Business Administration. You aren't making real money unless you are a doctor, which really shouldn't be just anyone, a lawyer, which really shouldn't be just anyone, or an engineer, which really shouldn't be just anyone. Everything else is a trade. Anything medical that isn't a doctor is essentially a tradesperson. Anything law-related that isn't a judge or a lawyer is a tradesperson. Software engineer? Anyone can use Google and be a code monkey, but not everyone is going to be a principal architect. Every other degree that isn't a trade degree is a thinking person's degree and won't earn you money unless you are a genius at it. Are those degrees important? Yes, if it is in you to make them so. Honestly, even the trades can't be done by just anyone. Anyone can work on a construction site or in an auto shop because it involves heavy lifting work. Believe me, I do that kind of work. I am not out here changing the world. I am just making sure it functions. You need to have skill to be an electrician, hand dexterity, and a good eye to be a welder, and you need to be competent to advance from an apprentice to a journeyman. But we need to stop telling people they can be whatever they want if they try hard enough. Do something you are good at, and if you are good at nothing, please don't go to school to be an engineer, a lawyer, or a doctor. Do something that won't negatively affect the rest of us if your charisma is stronger than your intellect. Story 97. Economically, in the short term, he would probably make a lot more money in the skilled trades than going to college, because he starts getting paid immediately and does not have to take out over $30,000 in loans. In the long run, depending on what he chooses to study, there is a good chance he will come out about even. People seriously underestimate how much skilled tradespeople earn. If he goes into engineering, medicine, law, or similar fields, he will probably make more long-term by going to college. However, many majors will put him on about the same level as the trades but with debt on top. There is a massive shortage of skilled tradespeople, so he will likely be able to get hired and start training very quickly. I say go for it. Story 98. It sounds like he would prefer the trades. 2 things I recommend. Figure out what he really likes to do in the trades, such as welding, technician work, or heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, and build a plan for advancement. There will come a time when his body might be worn out enough that he will want a desk job. Story 99. College is not going anywhere, but taking any opportunity presented to you that will teach you a trade is invaluable. Even if someone does it for 2 to 4 years and then decides to go to college, if they go to college and find themselves competing with artificial intelligence, they at least have 2 to 4 years of welding experience to fall back on. Story 100. Top-class welders can earn more than the average university graduate. The United States does not value trades nearly enough. Here in Australia, a skilled tradesperson working as an independent contractor can earn $100,000 per year after expenses and taxes. Story 101. Major props. It is a valuable skill set and the sort of thing that not every man is cut out to do. It is rough on the body, but every man I know who does it gets satisfaction from doing meaningful real work. Story 102. Speaking from experience, if he does not know what he wants to do in college and has a better option lined up, take it. Dad is right, he can always go back later. He may love welding and never need to go to college, and he could end up far ahead of those who do. Story 103. College isn't for everyone, and it's getting more expensive with the elimination of grants. A welding apprenticeship starts around $19 per hour. He'll be working for his uncle, so let's call it $20. He'll be gaining experience and getting paid to learn, while college students often have to pay tuition and hold jobs that conflict with their study time. He can earn $60,000 a year within his first 2 years as an apprentice. Not many college graduates can make that claim. If that's where his passion lies, he should start working for his uncle. Best of luck to you both in your senior year. Story 104. The trades are going to become oversaturated, and we will see many 30-year-old men going back to college because the trades did not work out. Story 105. Do a trade unless you want to be a doctor, lawyer, engineer, or accountant. Then just do a trade. It is potentially the same money earned with hardly any debt, so you start life a lot quicker. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.